Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of April, 2007. This is Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends. We're looking at the Nasdaq 100 right now, and today was a pretty quiet day. The Qs finished with a gain of 14 cents, so they did add to yesterday's strength, which is nice to see that they're not really giving anything back at all, and in fact adding to it. But you know, we do have a little potential resistance coming up ahead at 44.50, and yesterday was a big move. One way that you could look at this daily time frame is that we've got what's setting up to look like a cup and handle here, this being the cup and this being the handle. Now typically the cup is going to be, or the handle is going to be about 50% the depth of the cup, so we have that going for us. And what we have is just a couple tests of resistance at 44.50. So getting up above 44.50 would be a bullish event that could lead to perhaps even new highs for the year. So we have $1 or so to get back up to the highs from before this breakdown, and we have this gap to deal with. However, and how you want to look at the gap, this is really officially where the gap is, up to about 44.80. And I see some people saying we have gap resistance there. We don't know if it's resistance till after the fact. Right now, we've got a little bit of resistance at 44.50, it looks like. But the more times resistance is tested, the more likely the market is to break out past that level and push higher, and again take the bears off guard. This breakdown that failed to hold below there got a lot of people bearish, a lot of shorts back in the market, a lot of longs threw their stocks away. So we're coming into the earnings season, things could get pretty interesting here over the next couple of weeks. Looking at a 30-minute time frame, you see that this is where the buyers took control yesterday, and we were trading in a pretty tight little range in here. So there's really not much to say about today's activity other than it did make a higher high on the 10-minute time frame and a higher low. So it continues to be bullish. If you're looking for a trend to fade, I think it's still early. We've got this 5-day moving average still advancing. So I'm a trend trader. If you're looking to fade the trends, then you're listening to the wrong guy here, because I believe that the real money is made by following trends. Of course, you can always scalp stuff out if you're a quick intraday trader, maybe trading off a 2-minute or even 1-minute time frame. But on the S&P 500 here, we see that we did have a constructive day in here as well. The spiders finished with a gain of 10 cents, so they were up slightly from yesterday. And we've got kind of the same thing setting up in here, this being a cup, this being a handle in here, and it closed right near the high end of that range. I think getting above 143.90 or so might then close this gap, and we could be off to new highs for the year in the S&P 500 as well. So the market is acting pretty constructively actually in here. It's holding these gains also in the S&P 500. You can see we didn't make a higher high here, so getting above 144 probably is what we're really going to need to get that next push higher. But I think it's good. This could be the pause that refreshes in here. So it's in a way a good thing that it's not running all at once. A lot of times, when the markets run all at once, they don't give you a chance to get aboard. But when they're consolidating like this, and same thing in here, maybe above 81 in the IWM, but nice positive constructive action with old resistance becoming new support. The semiconductors were actually the leaders today. They were up 1.1%, but you can see that really means nothing to the overall trend, as we're kind of just rallying back up towards the midpoint of this range. Found some support at the 200-day moving average, which is really meaningless, I think. The more meaningful thing is this level of support down here near 33, and this resistance up here near $36 a share. Until we break out of that range, it's just going to be a scalper's environment, trading back and forth long and short in this range. So we're not going to spend any more time looking at that. Let's take a look at the stocks we've been in. First of all, QUALCOMM we've got involved in above $43 a share on Monday. I'd suggest raising your stop to $43.43. We were stopped out today with a gain of about 1% in shares of QUALCOMM. OTEX, that's open text, we got involved in here at $22.15. I said raise your stop to break even, so got stopped out of that one at a break even today. As far as the stocks mentioned yesterday, I'd suggested buying ADTRAN above 24.60. However, when they gap up like that, I don't recommend buying them, even though it was 24.65 about where it opened. It could have worked well. I'm going to say no trade officially. If you are in it, I'd say stop probably down about 24.85, but I'm not going to continue to update this one. Same thing goes for Nuance, symbol NUAN. I said above $15.55 at this level here. But when it gaps up to that high, 30, 35 cents above it, it's not worth chasing. So no trade there as well. Zoran was the only one we were able to get involved in based on the instructions I had set forth yesterday, and that was to buy the stock above $17.50. If you're in the stock, I would say raise your stop now to $17.52.